All right. Looks like we're live. Time for a Yoshinoya food review. Let's have a look. See what we got here. Here we go. Food review. All right, y'all. So stoked about this one. Super ready for this. You guys ready for this? I'm ready for this. Let's see what we got here. Okay, guys. Yoshinoya. It's a Japanese restaurant here in China. I think you guys have this in the U.S. It comes with a Pepsi Cola. Tastes perfect, just like Pepsi Cola. The side item is a small dish of, what's that called? Mashed potatoes. Then comes with a pair of chopsticks. See how these are looking. Pretty good. Click them open. Yeah. Pair of chopsticks. There's a straw. See if it's a paper straw. No, legitimate plastic straw. Good deal. Not going to use it. Looks like about 5 napkins. Nice. Going to need those. And here's the bag that came in. Yoshinoya food review. So we got here. Here's the entree, guys. All right. So today we've got the teriyaki beef. There's a vegetable medley in the middle there. And then on the other side is the teriyaki chicken. So this comes out like so. And underneath is a bed of rice. So we'll go ahead and dump this on the rice because that's the way to go with it. First with the veggies. Then the teriyaki chicken, looking pretty good. Pour the sauce in there. And then the teriyaki beef. Get all that sauce in there. We're going to toss that extra stuff there. Let you have a look at it. You guys ready for some of this? Are you ready? So here's what it looks like. Teriyaki beef, vegetable medley, and teriyaki chicken. Going in. Let's check it out. Check it out. Time for a Yoshinoya food review. Don't forget it comes with an ice cold Pepsi Cola at Yoshinoya. Get a little sip of that Pepsi Cola. Let's open that mashed potato before we go in for our entree. Mashed potato. Mashed potato. So the mashed potato has got carrot in it and some kind of pork flakes. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Tasty. So what do you think first? Put ones down in the chat if you want to go for the chicken first, teriyaki chicken, or put twos if you want to go for the teriyaki beef. I'll wait until you guys vote. Do you vote that I tried the chicken first or the teriyaki beef? Go ahead, place your votes now. Ones for teriyaki chicken and twos for teriyaki beef. If you choose vegetable medley, which will be a 3, then you ain't got no right to be here. You ain't got no right. All right. Looks like we got ones coming in, all ones. Let's try this chicken, guys. Teriyaki chicken from Yoshinoya going in. Mm. Mm. Oh, yeah. Get some of that rice. Mm. 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 Okay. Teriyaki chicken, guys. Okay. So, the first item on the list, teriyaki chicken. A little greasy. It's supposed to be grilled chicken with teriyaki sauce. Looks like it is a chicken breast. And it's got all white meat chicken breast. It's got the skin on top, grilled skin, and then bathed in a teriyaki sauce from Japan. It's salty, savory. If you've had teriyaki sauce, you know what it tastes like. Got a bit of that oyster sauce flavor to it. Yoshinoya. They're well known for the quality of their rice. They use a really good, high quality rice, and that's why a lot of people like to eat there. It's like a jasmine rice. It has a very nice texture. So there it is, guys. Yoshinoya grilled teriyaki chicken. Very nice. The chicken is a bit greasy, but all in all, it's got a nice flavor. Temperature's nice. Tastes fresh. Moderately fresh for fast food, anyway. The rice is nice. Could really use a spoon, though. You know what I'm saying? This is the mashed potato. That's the side item. And the vegetable medley. Vegetable medley is pretty much all cauliflower. Steamed cauliflower. No real flavor. The chicken breast is about maybe a 200-gram chicken breast, something like that. And then next up is the teriyaki beef. So it looks like it's probably about 200 grams of teriyaki beef. Looks like that thin sliced beef grilled. Going in. Oh, yeah. Let's try it. Oh, the teriyaki beef is a very nice teriyaki flavor. Thin sliced beef with sauteed onions. Again, that rice is the star of the show. It's a high quality, like jasmine rice. Very nice. Try another piece of this beef. Oh, yeah. Again, savory, salty, perfect amount of chew. Temperature window on the beef is a little lower. It's not as hot as the chicken was. Doesn't seem to retain heat as well. The mashed potato, creamy whipped, stored cold. Kind of like a potato salad, carrots and pork in it. Get a little more of this beef. Beef with onion. Good stuff. So, vegetable medley. At this point, you guys are probably wanting to know what was the total damage on this meal, right? What did it cost? So, the total price of this 2-item rice dish was 47 kwai or renminbi. Let's see what that works out to be in US dollars. 47 divided by 6.8. So it works out to be $6.91 US. And it's a pretty healthy portion. You get about 500 grams of rice, 200, maybe 250 grams of beef, and 200, 250 grams of chicken, and then probably an equal amount of vegetables, maybe 150, 200 grams of vegetables. Don't forget a side of potato salad and a small cup. This is called a medium in China. Most folks don't drink much larger of Coke than that, but it's considered a medium. Probably more like a small though for an American. Of Pepsi Cola. Hey, we've got a visitor in the ideas room. DJ Electra. Good to see you again, DJ Electra. I think I met you the other day on another show that Flow State had dropped us off at. I think that's where I saw you. Seems like you guys were oh yeah, you guys have Yoshinoya there. Good. This is a Yoshinoya food review. I got the teriyaki beef with the grilled teriyaki chicken. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Have you had your dinner? For me, it's right after work. I was going to eat at the school cafeteria, but I didn't have any money on my card. So I went to the fast food restaurant. Yeah, good. Good looking out. Thank you for that, DJ Electra. Do you like to chat on the panels? Do you come on and chat with people? I don't know if you were up there chatting or not the other night. It's more fun to chat with people. 2:45 a.m. Damn. Yeah, only 7 p.m. here in Twilight Zone, Old Peking, deep within the central kingdom of the Celestial Dragon. Welcome, Wayfarer, Wanderer, and Wildcat alike. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last time. Hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe. Oh, that happy horse shit. That makes YouTube's algorithms bark like Pavlov's dog. I'm trying to get a 1,000 subs so I can monetize. Those guys were saying that all you needed was 500 subs or something and a certain amount of watch hours, but it seems like my account says that I need 1,000 subs to get monetized. Oh no. Yeah, I like living in China all right. DJ Electra. I've been here for quite a while. It was kind of my childhood dream to come to China and learn Chinese because I wanted to read. I'll turn this off. Because I wanted to learn to read the Chinese language so that I could read some of the old philosophy books without a translator. I studied literature in school, and then I took about 6 years of Chinese studies at university, and then I moved here to Beijing and got into a research program at a university, and then I stayed. I wanted to come here. I wanted to stay long enough. When they asked me when I got here, the Border Patrol, they said, "Why'd you come to China?" I said, "Because I wanted to." And they said, "How long are you going to stay?" I said, "I don't know, 30 years maybe." And so I was in it to win it from the beginning. I've been here 20 plus years now. So DJ Electra says that you can get monetized with 500 subs within 1 year, but then if it goes over 1 year and you're close to 500, they sometimes up it to needing 1,000. So weird. Yeah, I've had this YouTube channel open since like 2016, And it took me about 10 years to get close to 1,000 subs. And I've made over 3,000 videos. And some of my original videos, I put a lot of effort into, like really high production value, going around temples here in China and researching all kinds of stuff, doing on the ground journalism. And they never gave any kind of fucks about my channel here on YouTube. So I gave up. And I thought, I'll just give up. And so all I do now is make live streams and shorts. Because YouTube ain't never showed me any love. That's all right, though. You know, they promote who they want. I've been struck down a bunch in the past for talking a lot of shit. Like I was revealing things that was related to the Kuvis before it happened. Because we found out about it before it happened here in China. So like October of 2019, we knew what was going on. We were already going into lockdown. The rest of the world didn't find out about it until March of 2020. And I was online talking about it on YouTube. And they shut me down. They gave me a couple of strikes right in a row. And, you know, the next one would have gotten me banned. So I stopped talking about anything important. Now all I talk about is the esoteric and the occult and food reviews. Sometimes I'll go out and do a little on the streets journalism about something else, like maybe just something local and entertaining, nothing of importance anymore. Because it's not worth it. You know, you put 10 years into a channel and make thousands of videos, and then you say one wrong thing and you get in trouble. So better off just play by the rules. I didn't learn about the panel chats until like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, 4 months ago maybe. And that seems to be the way to go. Like a lot of people have fun on the panel chats. I've already kind of pissed Flow State off, I think. I don't think he really likes me. But it's kind of hard to get on his side. Like he's a very practical guy. Like, hey, what's up, Russian lad? We're doing a little Yoshinoya food review with your host, Frank Monday. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching, Wanderer, Wayfarer, and Wildcat alike. We are having the teriyaki chicken. Oh, I haven't given it a rating yet. I just told the price a moment ago. Yeah, he can be stubborn. He can be a bit of a dick. I mean, if you're not bringing money to his show, he doesn't really give any kind of fucks about you, which is okay. It makes sense, you know. I'm just some random dude out of nowhere. There's no reason why he should give any kind of fucks about me. That's all right. And I kind of insulted his little girlfriend the other night. I said Rotten Tomato looked like a 12-year-old little boy, which is true. I mean, but it's hurtful. You shouldn't say hurtful things. And the only reason I said that is because I had been on the Insanity Machine with Queen Stefan, and he was talking a gang of shit about me and talking a gang of shit to me, and I kind of left in a bad mood. And then I went over to Flow States and I was hanging out in his panel chat, in his chat room, and I made that comment, and I should have thought twice before I said it. But it's true. She does look like a 12-year-old boy. And the only reason I said it is because she was talking shit to Lindsay, and I kind of like Lindsay and Snowfire. Like, you know, they look like more attractive women to me. I didn't think anybody would notice it. I thought it would go unnoticed. But then I guess Rotten Tomato was in the chat, and she's like, "Oh, why did you say this?" or something. I can't remember. And then Flow State put it up on the screen, and I I knew I was done at that point. I knew he'd probably never have me back on his show. Yeah, he actually came on my live show once before he ever started doing lives on his channel. Oh, really? That's interesting. Fascinating. So you must have been doing panel chats for a long time then, because I never even knew about it. It's something entirely new to me on YouTube. But yeah, so guys, we're reviewing the teriyaki chicken and teriyaki beef from Yoshinoya. And I said that this one here with a small dish of potato salad, cold dish of potato salad, and a medium Pepsi at Yoshinoya cost me 47 RMB. It's about 1,000 grams of food, I think. And that works out to be about $6.90 US. So almost $7. Now, I was going to rate it. Now, Yoshinoya, you know, it is what it is. It's fast food. It's supposed to be Japanese style. The rice quality is pretty good. And that's the real winner of the meal, is the rice. So today wasn't perfect. The meat tasted a little bit soggy. The vegetable medley was mostly just cauliflower. I think there was one little piece of broccoli, like very, very little broccoli. Only like 1 or 2 pieces of carrot. So out of 10, flavor-wise, I'm going to give it a 7.5. But quality, texture, and variety, I'm just going to give it a 6. So flavor is really good, in fact. The temperature was a little bit low. It should have been a little hotter. But flavor, definitely a 7.5. Their teriyaki sauce is spot on. The meat quality is fairly good, you know, for what it is. But quality and variety, a little bit lower. I'm going to give it a 6.5. So there you have it. Yoshinoya's teriyaki chicken and beef bowl with vegetable medley and potato salad. 6.5 for quality and variety. A 7.5 for flavor. For $6.90, you can't beat it. Not a bad price. Okay, let me check the chat here. If you guys, I'm about done with my dinner, man. If you guys want to come on and hang out, if anybody wants to chat with me, I just put the link in the ideas room. You only did like 2 or 3 live panel shows? Okay. Can we not call a spade, especially when they are firing bullets first? I think you can, but you got to realize, too, that you might be shitting in your nest, and the host of the show might not have you back. But the thing is, I've seen him tolerate far more egregious things on his panel, and nothing I said was especially bad in any way, really. I was on there, and I'd had a couple of drinks, and I was drinking, and I was showing my beer can because it had Chinese characters on it. And he said, "You're violating the terms of service." And I was like, "Bullshit! Your little girlfriend Sarah always shows her can on camera." And he kicked me. And I hung around for a little while after, like a couple of hours, and just listened to the show because I was listening to it through StreamYard. But it's not the first time he's gotten pissy with me. He's done it multiple times, so no big deal. DJ Electra says that she produces and makes content for live shows on another channel. They aren't panels, but they're more like a TV show. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I was watching you guys the other night, man. You guys were having a party. It was the one where Billy the Kid was over there. And there was like 9 or 10 people on the show, and everybody was fucking around and laughing and having fun. That looked like good fun. I was listening to the show. I really wasn't watching, but I was listening because I was actually out to dinner with my wife and kids. But you know how people are these days. You stick one earbud in, you know, and you can listen to the show while you're at it. And I interacted a little bit. Yeah, that was on Beast Mode's channel. Russian Lad. Good to see you again, Russian Lad. Man, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. He says, I guess people are willing to ignore nasty behavior from their loved ones as long as it's not directed towards them. Yeah, that makes sense. And I thought about that too. Like a lot of the people that he takes shit from, like usually send in money to the show or have street credit, have been around for a while. You know, you can't just be some rando and come in and talk shit. But I really wasn't talking shit. And I told him that I didn't understand. Like, I didn't know there was any kind of TOS against smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer on camera, which there's not in the US. There is in the UK. I think he was just being arbitrary, like just being petty. I don't think it was legit. Yeah, so I subbed up Beast Mode's channel, and I subbed about 10 guys that night. I think I subbed you, Electra, and all the other people that you guys had mentioned that night. And I ended up getting about maybe 15 subs from your guys' channel, so thank you for that. Can't spell cuck without the UK. That's right. That's right. Poor fucking UK, man. Those guys are in a real bad way, huh? Ain't fucking right. Beta cuck horse shit, huh? Yeah, they're getting fucked over left and right over there. Yeah, that was good fun, Electra. That's probably the most subs I've ever picked up in one night off a show. Like everybody was down, everybody was subbing everybody. Billy the Kid ended up getting like 15 or 20 subs that night. I got a bunch, and I subbed all of you guys. And anybody that subbed me that has a public account, I would sub them right back. Like it'll only show that you sub someone like if your subs are open to the public, which I believe mine are. And some people have it open, and so it'll show that they subbed you. I think you were one of the first ones to sub me that night, Electra, because I remember it came down in like a pop-up window at the top of my phone, and I was like, yeah, awesome. And then I got in there and subbed you, so it was good fun. Yeah, so if nobody wants to come on and chat tonight, man, I'm not going to hang out too long. I just wanted to come on and do a little food review and see if anybody was out there having fun and wanted to have a little philosophical banter back and forth. I had a good day at the office today, man. Today was actually the last day of like official work for our school semester. We have to go in tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. So we still got 3 more days of the semester, but today was like officially the last day we had to do any work. We had to give work reports. And the head of our department paid me a high compliment after my presentation. He said, yeah, at the end of the day, he announced like whose presentations he really liked. And he mentioned one other guy, and then he mentioned another guy, and then he mentioned me. And I was pretty stoked about that. Because out of like 25 people, he only mentioned 3 people. And the first person he mentioned was pretty good. And the second person he mentioned, I thought his fucking presentation was absolutely dynamite. And I even told him after his presentation, I was like, damn, that's a hard act to follow. You know, that was some good oration, you know, a lot of colorful slides and stuff on his PPT, but he was a good speaker at it. You know, sometimes you listen to a person talk, like you might be listening to me talk right now, and think how fucking bored to death you are, and that it's absolute torture, right? And that you just want to go and kill yourself after you're done. But sometimes you listen to a speaker and it's fun, it's interesting. They carry you along. You know, there's a build up and a crescendo and a climax, and then there's satisfaction. And that guy was fun to listen to. I told him that too. He likes hearing that. He knows he's a good speaker. But then I gave mine, and mine was a Are we back? I think I lost connection for a second. All right. Are we back? Hello. Are we back? Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Are we back? Yeah, it looks like we're back now. We hear your voice, just not your webcam. Okay. I think it should be okay now. I'm looking, I can see it. It was blank for a while. Yeah, you know how it is. Internet in China ain't that great. Okay, back fully now. Awesome. Thank you, Russian lad. Yeah, so I was telling you about the work progress presentations we did today. It went all right. My presentation was a little more like muted. I didn't want to go big or anything. Go big or go home, right? But I just wasn't feeling it. I came with some big ideas, but I didn't come with the big powerful pathos. I was more triangulating towards the logos and ethos. In the rhetorical triangle, there's logos at the top and then pathos and ethos at the bottom. So pathos is how you move people emotionally. And in an academic environment, I had thought about it too. I did some self-hypnosis before I went up, right? When it was getting close to my turn. Take a deep breath. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, relax. And I thought to myself, you're Don Draper, right? Go up there and razzle dazzle them. And then when I got up there, I overcalmed myself, and I was feeling a little too much like Don Draper and from Mad Men. And I let it all play out really low key, but it worked in my favor. I mean, out of 25 folks, I got mentioned third. I think if I would have put a little more oomph in it, he might have mentioned me first. But I had cut so much of what I had prepared. Like, I prepared, I don't know, 70 pages of material. Maybe a PPT material, it's just a paragraph, a slide or whatever. But then I cut like 2/3 of it the day before I sent it in. And it's funniest thing too, because after I did that, I read that Hemingway used to do that. Hemingway would write like 3 to 4 times the amount that he would actually publish into a book. I think on one of his last tales, he wrote something like 150,000 words, and then the finished product ended up only being about 50,000 words. And whoever was commenting on Hemingway's style said that it's really essential that you do that you write through all the gaps, but then you just don't have to include it in your finished product. And I had done that, and then just like synchronistically, I heard that lesson, and I probably heard it before and was thinking about it subconsciously when I did that. But it's true. Like all the things that I had written through and played out in my mind that I had taken out of my presentation still made for greater confidence and a greater volition in presenting the ideas. Yeah, it gives you the option to reflect on your writing. That's right. And John Dewey of the Dewey Decimal System, he said that we don't learn from experience, but we learn from reflecting on experience. And so I thought that was valuable. I had researched some new ideas going forward, and we're required to, whatever program we're working on, we're required to improve it in some way each year. And so I had done all the improving behind the scenes and then just given a basic overview. And I included a lot of info in one slide. And I thought, okay, I could just eliminate a ton of this stuff because it's all right here, and I could just talk about it for a little while. And then I ended up going much longer than I thought I did. Like 15 minutes was what required, but I went 21 because the timer was broken. And I thought I had 5 more minutes to go, and I was actually done. And I said, right at that point, I was talking about Parkinson's law, that the amount of work will expand or contract to fill the amount of time left to do the work. You know Parkinson's law, right? And I looked at the timer and I said, then this presentation is going to be exactly 5 minutes longer, and then I'll be done. And the department head didn't signal me to stop or anything, so it worked out. For you, it's the complete opposite. Yeah. Do you like to dance like a butterfly, sting like a bee? You like to be lively on your feet when it comes to getting that stuff done? Wow, I'm gonna finish this whole thing, man. This was tasty. Good taste. Yoshinoya. They have their rice is a good quality, and their teriyaki sauce is nice. Explain to me how it's the opposite, Russian lad. Where you do this different. Yeah. Well, that's the way I start too, right? Start with some brainstorming, then expand it to a couple of paragraphs, grab some ideas, throw them in there, rearrange things. Fuck. I was done with the thing like the first day I wrote it all out, but then I spent the next couple of days rearranging things, like putting this idea in front of that idea and then moving another idea somewhere else. And then, like I said, right there before it was time to turn it in, I cut 60% of it, but I saved it for later too. Because I'm not just going to throw that work away, you know, and I might be able to use it somewhere else. And part of it I had borrowed from previous presentations I had done. Not saying it's reliable, but I never end up writing much because I'm shit at writing. Yeah, here's the thing too. Like, you can use AI nowadays, Chat GPT, and as long as you can give good prompts and outline it, you can get a lot of content that way. It sounds robotic though. You definitely have to change it. Like, you can't just use it straight out of the box. and you have to put your own twist on it. But you can definitely generate some content that way. And I honestly, for like a routine work related thing, I don't see any reason why not. Might as well use it. You know, the tool's there for you. I heard about a situation recently where a guy lost his job to AI because he refused to use AI and take less pay. The thing is, they probably knew that most people were already using AI, and that's why they were taking less pay, because they can make more content in a shorter period of time. Yeah. I'll tell you, man, I've been studying writing my whole life, you know, all the way through K through 12. And then I went to university for 6 years. And then I came to China and went to university for another 3 years. You know, I worked on a postgraduate's degree, working toward a doctoral, which I didn't finish. But even with all that said, I was never a good writer. And I knew a guy in high school that wrote better than me after 10 years of college. He still wrote better than me. And he was just a high school guy, right? I mean, in high school, he was a better writer. And finally, I think now I'm 50 plus, right? And that means I've been learning and reading and writing English for 40 years. And only now do I have a modicum of competency in writing. But I can now. And I could all the way through school, but my writing's never been anything great. There was a time when I did a bunch of short stories, like in my mid-30s, that were actually pretty good. But I think that's probably the only time in my entire life that I ever wrote anything worth a shit. And like Hemingway says, too, something has to happen in order for you to write. You know, somebody's got to fucking die or something, you know, terrible or something wonderful. He said it's almost always got to be terrible. Like if something wonderful happens, you won't become a writer. And if you had a great childhood, you won't be a good writer. And I had both of those things. I had a great childhood and I've had wonderful things happen in my life. And according to Hemingway, then that doesn't make for a great writer. You know, something traumatic and drastic has to happen in order for you to feel the great pain that is required to write. And when my elder brother passed away during the Couvies, I wrote some pretty good poetry for him based on Edgar Allan Poe's Nevermore. But I wrote one called Evermore, right? The opposite. That the great crow had come to me. And I thought, you know, I went into great sadness and depression and thought that it would be, you know, nevermore to see. But then I flipped it on its head and I wrote a whole thing. And it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. But it required losing a beloved brother that was only a year and a half older than me that I grew up with. Yeah, nothing wrong with being a painter. That's a useful trade. Or if you're an artiste, nothing wrong with that, man. Whatever path you take, it doesn't even fucking matter. You can cultivate greatness in anything that you do. Fuck, I couldn't paint a room with any type of effective skill. That requires a lot of work at learning to get good at it. At being competent. Somebody's walking by talking outside. I'm in the hotel again, guys. This is the last week I'm going to be in the hotel. And then we're on vacation for a month. And then when I come back, they should have the dorms repaired and I should get a dormitory back for when I'm at school. Especially useful if you're an Austrian. Yeah, that's a fact, huh? Seems like Austrian painters don't get into art school, though, right? And that can piss a motherfucker off, right? Enough to do some pretty Pretty dank shit. I'm gonna grab myself a cigarette, man. Have a little cigarette with you guys. What do you think of that? We've got mountain tower pagodas here. Red Hongta Shan. Red Tower Mountain brand cigarettes. These are a classic working man class cigarette. And they're pretty good. It's roast tobacco. They are the equivalent of about $1 a pack US. They cost 7, 8. Oh, they're up to 10 kwai now, so they're about $1.30 for those smokes. These are a little more. These are about $1.50 US a pack. They're about 15 kwai, something like that. These are Nanjing special brand cigarettes. I'm gonna have one of these though. These are my favorites. Yeah, I noticed me too, man. I slowed down a lot though. Like, of course, you can't smoke at the office, so I'm at the office from like 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then I'll have lunch, usually in the cafeteria. Then I got just enough time to go off campus and have a cigarette, and then go back and work from 1 to 5. So that cuts my smoking down a lot when I'm working. And tend to have a what does he say here? Tend to have a shit taste on mustaches and hairstyles. Yeah. I kind of got that hairstyle a little bit. I should grow that mustache out. I think I might be the spitting image of the motherfucker if I did that. I'm kind of with you. I think I like to smoke more when it's cold. It feels maybe just somehow it feels better. It's nicer. The cold breeze and the refreshing tobacco smoke. It's nice. I enjoy smoking. It's not good for you, I guess. You know, they say, but it's a hobby, right? At least nowadays they call it a bad habit, but back in the day they called it a hobby. When I was a kid growing up, they still had cigarette ads in the magazines and on billboards and stuff. Yeah, I agree with that too. In fact, I probably would rather have a hot cup of tea or something. But this soda came with the meal. But yeah, it's like drinking an ice cold lemonade on a hot summer day. Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. All right, wasn't that Elvis Presley? Didn't he sing a song about lemonade? Yeah, I wanted to see if DJ Electro wanted to come up and talk with me, man. It'd be fun to have a gal on the show. I've had a few gals on this show before. The old Frank Monday show, coming at you straight out the central kingdom of the celestial dragon. Let me do the channel updates, guys. I am your Grand Wizard of the Esoteric Order of Dagon, friend and well-wisher, Frank Monday. Hit the likes to keep YouTube barking like a dog. Check me out on www.buymeacoffee.com/Frank Monday. And there you go. That's it. That's how you do the channel updates at the top and bottom of the hour, right? Russian Lad says, granted, I drink a lot of soda regardless of the season. I'm addicted. Yeah, I drink soda too. I drink soda and coffee, man. I'm pretty sure it's what's destroyed my teeth. That with the cigarettes. But, what are you going to do? Enjoy your life. I've been off the drink though for a while. Like I drank a little in college, and then after college when I first got married, I drank a little, and then I just quit. I quit in like I don't know 2011, something like that. Just cold turkey, and quit for 13 years straight. Fucking dry as an old an old church hound dog or something, just dry, bone dry for 13 years. And then recently, I think it was right around the time of COVID, I bought myself a bottle of brandy when I was trapped at home. And that's not the good time to start drinking again. But I did all right with it. Oh, when my brother died, I ended up drinking like a liter of whiskey. But then I was cool again, and I don't drink. I had a couple of beers the other night, but I was thinking about old Frater Tomas. He died last March. And so it was like, everybody died, man. My best friend back in America, he died. And then my brother died. Then my mom died. Then my fucking best friend in Sweden, the guy that I spent like 10 years hanging out with here in Beijing, he fucking dropped dead. And, you know, they all kicked the bucket. I've told you guys all this story before. I'm not going to go over it again. But yeah. And sometimes when you think about certain things, like I had told a guy a story about my high school girlfriend, and then out of nowhere I started thinking about her again, and I probably shouldn't have talked about her, but then I had a dream about her, and I felt like our spirits reconnected in some way, and I thought maybe they did. Maybe I was doing some astral travel and visiting her. That was my first true love, though, my first broken heart. Uh, it's funny too because we got back in touch with each other like 10 years after high school or whatever, and she said she always wondered how her life would have been if she would end up marrying me, because she ended up married and divorced like 3 times, and she had like three different kids from 4 different baby daddies. You got to wonder how that shit worked out, you know. But if she'd married me, she'd have stayed married, because I stayed married to my wife 24 years now. So I'm in it for the long haul. Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, yeah, you know, you do have to be careful, though. I agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So Russian Lad says there's nothing wrong with that, you know, doing a little reminiscing. Um, yeah, because it's a part of your fortune. You know, it's a part of your fate, part of your trip, your adventure, and it's an important part. And like Ernest Hemingway was saying, sometimes it's really got to cut to the bone in order to be able to write. That's another time I wrote really good poetry. I wrote a 3-page college ruled front and back poem that got turned into a song about that girl. And it was when I was still dating her, but I knew it wasn't going to last. Her dad was a business guy that had like a direct beef with my dad. And it was kind of like a, what is that, Montagues and Capulets or whatever, the Shakespeare type rivalry. And I knew it wasn't going to work out. And like I hadn't seen her in like 3 or 4 days or something. And I sat down and I was feeling, you know, the spirit of the thing, the muse. And I wrote a really good piece of poetry to her. And then I sat with her one night and read it to her. And she said, "Why don't you give me the copy of that?" And I said, "No." I said, "I wrote it for you, but it's really good and I'm going to keep it." And I ended up losing it. A guy that was a band producer uh, that I was staying with, he stole it from me, and he ended up turning it into either 1 or 2 songs, and a band that ended up getting the credit for my writing, and I never got any fucking credit for it, and it really kind of pissed me off because I think I was 19 at the time, and it was probably the best I had ever written, and maybe some of the best poetry that I could have ever written, because she was so beautiful and I was so in love with her. Russian Lad says one time he stumbled upon a classmate who got me too. I think he's guilty. Allegations after that interaction that made me reminisce on my high school days. Yeah, see, that happens. That happens. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of pisses me off. That's not the first time I've been robbed, in this prime material plane of bandits and charlatans. I'd tell you the name of the band and the name of the song, but you know what? Fuck it. At some point, you got to let that shit go. But that was really good stuff, man. I was reading a lot of Taoism at the time, really young. So if I was like 19, we're talking that's like 35 years ago, 34 years ago. So we're talking like 1990, right? Like the early 90s. And I was steeped in the Taoism at that point. I'd been practicing kung fu since I was a kid, and interacting with the subtle energies. And I was practicing ceremonial magic and reading old grimoires. And I really put a lot of that old 19th century flowery language together. But I made it short and snappy too, and it rhymed, and it was poetic, and it was lyric, and it was deep, and it was all of that shit, man. And yeah, it was good stuff. It was a storehouse of energy. And it felt magical when I wrote it too. And it felt magical as I edited it. And the real magic was when I read it to her, And then we boned, of course. And yeah, it was good fucking magic, man. Lao Tzu says too that, sometimes in the Tao Te Ching, sometimes you have to create things and let go of them, and they're more powerful. If you create them and try to get credit for it and try to hold on to it, then it's not as valuable spiritually. So maybe it had greater spiritual value in letting go of it. Still pisses me off though. And those older dudes, like those guys were in their probably mid to late 20s, and I was right out of high school. They knew what the fuck they were up to. Like I wasn't the first person that they stole from and then used it to, do music production of their own. That's right. The magic of planting a seed. And like I was talking about earlier, how sometimes you do that extra work and then you cut it away and it doesn't go into your finished edition anyway. They didn't make it in the music world. No, in fact, that guy's entire family ended up going down in flames, and they all aged very quickly. Like their DNA just unraveled. I truly think that to some extent, you can't get away with great evil for very long. Ultimately, it will consume you. And when you deliberately know that you're purloining other people's spiritual endeavors, I think that's a pretty bad fucking thing on the spirit plane. The hand of providence steps in and devitalizes your efforts. They did all right for a while, though, definitely. Multiple houses in the LA and San Diego area, and very popular with the women. But later on, when it came out, I'm pretty sure that some of the other people who were close to me, they knew some of that was my work. And that's all right. That's all right. Again, it's letting go of it as a part of the great magic. They did promote some bands that got relatively popular, and it seems like one of the bands, like their song ended up on a pretty high profile television commercial for like either Toyota or Honda. And later on, I ended up hearing the lyrics again, like 20 years later, and it still kind of pissed me off. I was like, I fucking wrote that. Yeah. Oh yeah, they got fucking tons of people got screwed over in the process. In fact, they just like a lot of these websites do, YouTube and Funny or Die, they reel people in. And here you are you're putting your best work on there for free, trying to get an audience, and they'll just purloin it and reshuffle it and use it on other channels and stuff like that. It's a really common practice now. You're and you start to feel their influence echoing back to you from other people, and that's all right though. Like I said, you got to let go of trying to seek credit for your own work even sometimes. And now I'm a little smarter about it, and like all of the things that are in my journals and my grimoires, and I'm preparing ultimately, maybe publish a couple of different books. Oh, the stream's buffering. Okay. Yeah. So a couple of things that I'm doing behind the scenes, I'm not going to talk about or put out there until maybe I just throw it up on my coffee page, make it into a PDF. But I've got some pretty solid, from the work I've done over the years, I've got some solid plates of ideas, some solid content for chapters in either like a magical grimoire or a book on spirituality. And I've been putting it together behind the scenes. In fact, I had a couple of really good pieces compiled on my last laptop, and then I ended up losing both of those hard drives because they weren't solid state drives. They were the older style disk drives, like 500 megabytes. And they ended up getting robbed when my house got robbed. And I thought, fuck. But it's okay too, because I still have everything in manuscript form, in journals and paper. And so I can recreate it. I've been working on a series of novels since I was in college. It's a quintet, a series of 5 books. And I may finish that before I die. But it's good to go back to it and reflect on it and see, which parts of the story are not finished yet, and do I have enough life experience now to bring the whole thing to fruition? That and some sort of grimoire of esoteric magical practices, and then finally like a book on spiritual cultivation, internal alchemy, astral travel, this kind of thing. And there's so much out there already right now anyway that there are tons of authors available on the topics. And so I wouldn't publish unless I really felt like I was bringing the subject matter forward with new and positive information in a way that mattered. Otherwise, just fuck it. Let it stay on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? But maybe just the tales, right? Like the memoirs of, the Frank Monday experience. That could probably be worthwhile. Growing up in LA during the time of like the riots, the battles of the Crips and the Bloods, and learning about kung fu and magic, and some of the romantic adventures and some of the fights and stuff like that, and then some of the Hollywood stuff you meet with. Okay, that sucks. Well, with that said, then, Russian Lad, I hope you have a wonderful evening, man. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I just came on a little while to chat and do a food review. I love y'all good looking, sexy people out in Happy Land. Stay well. And until next time, keep doing good magic. Ad Astra Prospera. I will see you in the abodes of the future. Russian Lad, please hit the thumbs up, like and subscribe. All that happy horse shit. Until next time, bye for now. Much love, brother.